Hello to the chicos and the chicas. This is the end of the 2022 Sinquefield Cup, and it has ended in a really exciting finish. In fact, it went all the way down to the wire with a tiebreaker in the end between Alireza Firouzja and Jan Nepomniachtchi, and the young Frenchman actually took the glory. So kudos to Firouzja. However, today I'm going to bring you a different game from the actual 9th round, and that was the encounter between Jan Nepomniachtchi and Hans Niemann. I really like this game. There is something really cool that we can learn from this, and a bit of a curiosity, so I thought I would bring this up. The opening phase of the game was nothing really important, or not that important, so I just casually choose to jump over it now by blitzing through the game. We can already see that the main topic of the game is going to be the pawn structure, but this is only the beginning. We are just warming up when it comes to messed up pawns. So here Hans played pawn d5. By the way, we are already out of theory. I think g3 was the new move. Yeah, e3 used to be played here, and g3 is the new move. And so now we are out of theory. The engine goes a little bit like meh about d5 and reckons that knight b4 would have been the way to go to force white to give up castling rights. And to be quite fair, I have to say that that makes a lot of sense to me as well. Instead, he played instant d5, allowing white to enter this absolutely amazing structure with dc, bishop takes, pawn takes, and every single black pawn on the board is isolated, which is no less than 7 isolated pawn. I think that is a world record, and Hans Niemann should submit that to Guinness for authentication. Now, for the record, I really do think that he could have avoided all of this by simply playing castles, and knight a5, which would have forced the trade on d5 and a slightly better endgame for white. But I think that this is largely theoretical. In fact, there was an even better way to go about business here. No, I thought it was knight. No, maybe it's knight e5. The engine still wants you to take by the... Oh, no, I think it was rook e8. That's right. Sorry, I stand corrected. It was rook e8. And if rook e1, then now I can go knight a5. And this is pretty decent for black. That was it. But our good friend Hans went like, nay. Give me all the 7 isolated pawns. And now a very curious endgame ensued where obviously everyone thought that this should be winning for white, or at least better. But the funny thing is that the immense activity of the black pieces, in particular the rooks on the semi-open files, will operate so nicely that there's not a lot to show here for white, really. c3, b takes c3 was a way for Hans to throw a pawn away just to mess up white's structure as well on the queen side. And again, for a number of moves, we are playing very sensible, very logical moves. Rook b6, c4, rook a6, and now black is already highlighting the main strategy, which is to pester both of these pawns constantly. Rook b2, rook g8. That rook wants to join the fray potentially from g4. On that note, c5 here was a key idea that was throughout the entire game. I wouldn't say missed, because I'm sure he saw it, but not played by Niemann. And I'm not sure why, because this move beautifully would have fixed the pawn on c4, providing a constant, everlasting target for the e6 bishop. So yeah, he had to have a very good reason to not to play it, and I think he didn't play it in the entire game. h4, rook up, very good. So you can see that the black heavies are a lot more active. In fact, all black pieces are more active than their white counterparts. So that is the reason why the structure, for the time being, is not falling apart entirely. Rook back, rook c2, and again, c5 would have sealed this pawn on c4 as a constant weakness that allows black to be on the attack forever. Note that here actually c4 is not hanging. a4 is an interesting idea, and if bishop takes c4, actually it is hanging, because if king b4, then black has maybe check even. Oops, I missed that. Apologies. Yeah, which means I don't understand why the engine wants a4, but okay. King b2 was played, which is much more human. Rook e5, e3, rook f5, rook f1, and now the pickle begins. rook g8 back. This was a mistake. And this could have caused the game to Hans. He should have played rook a5 and continue once again pestering these pawns. The problem with rook g8 is that now white had the very cool knight b3, which actually threatens with knight d4. Note that white can do this now because black very passively withdrew the rook from g4, so c4 doesn't need any guidance anymore. Guidance, I suppose. Guarding. So now black is more or less, well, I wouldn't want to use the word forced, but tempted to play c5 to cut out the knight d4 story. But here comes the problem. The rook on f5 is getting less and less air, and here I've got a line to show you. Rook e1, rook e5. No, I actually wanted to show you the idea. So if I play a pass to model the concept, then f4 comes. Now the rook has only one square where it can go. That's it. One square on h5, rook g8, e4, rook h5, rook e3, and now the pending f5 threat is going to decide the game, and black is helpless because if they play f5, then e5, and now the rook is entombed forever on h5. And if they don't do that, then white plays f5, and once again, upon retreating the bishop to d7, we will find that the h5 rook got entirely boxed in, and yeah, it's gonna be eventually lost for sure. I mean, one long-term plan would be just to walk the king across here and play g4, but if you just simply ignore it and start playing on the d file, that would do the trick as well. So that was a marvelous idea, and it was actually missed by Nepo in turn. He played king c3, allowing again the rooks to become the main nuisance in the game, and for the upteenth time, c5 was the way to go. He played it finally, so I actually stand corrected because it was played. Or was it? Yes, it was. And here I got another nuance that made me so excited about, you know, just chess in general. I'm looking at the board here. King d7 is played. I look up the engine. At the engine, it says king d6 is much better. And I'm like, what on earth is the difference? And sometimes doing these investigations by yourself can be quite an exciting thing to do. So it turns out that after king d7, rook b8, I can't go rook a4 anymore because there is this... No, not here. Where is my knight b3 trickery? There is a knight b3 trickery. So the idea was that this would hang, but I'm trying to figure out how to get there. Yeah, I'm not sure, but the point was that c5, maybe right here. No, because now rook c4 hangs. So maybe it was an e4 knight b3 idea, but long story short, king d6 needed to be played to cover the c5 pawn. And now Nepo came down to the back rank and attacked the h6 pawn. And here's something entirely incomprehensible and weird happened that I can't find the explanation for. And that is that Nepo doesn't take h6. But like, not even a second hesitation. He plays a3. I'm like, okay, h6 is not running away. You can take it next move. f5. He still doesn't take h6. I'm like, this is getting really weird. But okay, I will let this slide. Hans plays king e7. He still doesn't play. In fact, abandons the h file altogether. And no win in sight anymore. I don't know why he didn't take this. For the life of me, I don't understand at all. Like, surely not bishop c4 because that loses a piece to f3. And just in general, that like this rook doesn't get trapped in. Like, I'm free to leave. Even after rook, I tried rook g8 actually to try to mess with the rook. But e4, it's not going to be the same story as it was with black's rook on h5. So... remains a mystery to me. I'm sure he spoke about this in the press conference. But yeah, that was a big miss. And after rook b8, rook a6, Hans now defends really, really accurately, actually, to his credit. And from here on out, I don't think that Nepo had a real chance to actually convert this into any winning chances whatsoever. Yeah, rook d6, and this is where a beautiful drawing mechanism comes into play. Bishop d7, and Niemann is already aiming the a4 square, where now upon the capture he would have a marvelous perpetual check, and indeed that's how the game ended. So this is how you survive, guys, with 7 isolated pawns, no less. I guess it is a very instructive lesson to see that even that pawn structure is survivable without even any dramas, really. If we have got notable piece activity, which the American most certainly did have. Now, before I conclude the Sinquefield Cup and my recap videos about it, I can't really avoid not mentioning the drama, at least very briefly, that happened in round 1, I think it was, or 2 maybe. We are now a week further out, and we still have no information whatsoever that would be meaningfully shedding some light onto what exactly happened and why happened, which is really, really sad. And it just, yeah, put chess for all the bad reasons in the limelight again. And I think, yeah, this story needs a closure. Not more drama, but a closure. So let's hope that those who haven't spoken yet will tell what they need to say. And on that note, ladies and gents, this is going to be the end of my recap videos of the Sinquefield Cup, which once again was won by Alireza Firouzja. So kudos to the young Frenchman, and I'm going to be back at you with some really cool videos very soon. So stay tuned, and please don't forget to comment, to sub, to like, to super like, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.